so psyched to welcome back Erika Stanley to the show. Erika Stanley helps women founders stop sounding like everyone else online. As a human first brand and AI strategist, she's obsessed with turning fuzzy messaging and generic AI output into sharp, strategic brand systems that actually work. She's the founder of Mile End Digital and AI Queens. Erika has spent 20 plus years helping brands find their voice, tell better stories, and scale without losing their humanity. Her brand to bot blueprint is where brand clarity meets AI strategy. So your message finally sounds as good as your vision. I am also so lucky to have Erika as one of our coaches inside our No BS Mastery program, because Erika has taken all of the teachings that I've given her over the years that we've been working together and just implemented them so beautifully, not only in her agency where she does the model flawlessly and it's allowed her to have a lot of freedom in her life, but also how she's then applied all of these things to her new venture, AI Queens. We're so lucky to have Erika as one of our leaders and coaches and in our community because she's always keeping us on the pulse of what's going on in AI. And I thought I would have her on to tell us more about it. So without further ado, here is my interview with Erika. Hey, Erika, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Pia. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, of course. I invited you back because last time we spoke, you were obviously sharing about your one-person agency, Mile End Digital. And since then, you have built, can I call it like a second business?
Yeah, we can call it that.
Okay, yeah, you've built a whole second business and have done incredibly well. And I'm so proud of you, called AI Queens. And I said, we've got to bring Erika back on the show to just share everything she has learned and everything she knows and everything she's teaching in AI Queens. So that's what I thought we would do today. How does that sound?
That sounds awesome.
Okay, amazing. So let's just start with kind of some of the basics. Like, tell me a bit about your mission in AI Queens.
Well, AI Queens started off as my big idea in authority. And so I basically, as soon as ChatGPT launched to the public, I dove in and started to integrate it into pieces of my business. And I realized that there was a huge gap. What I was seeing, not just myself and anecdotally, but the numbers, like people were running studies on this and pretty early on, that women were not adopting AI as quickly as men. Men were using it more frequently and using it more in business rather than just asking it questions that you could ask to Google. And so I was like, okay, I can solve for this. Like I can help here. And so AI Queens came out of that. And I thought this can be where I really differentiate myself as an authority, as a woman who runs essentially a one-person business. I have a VA and I've got some contractors that I work with here and there, but I run a one-person business and I'm using AI to scale that business. And others can too. And so that's how AI Queens started. Then it moved from a just casual Substack and some things here and there. I taught a couple of workshops. And then I was encouraged by essentially everyone I know to start a podcast. Like, should I start a podcast? Yeah, I should start a podcast. And so I started that earlier this year. It's been going for about 7 months. And it is the joy of my week getting to record these podcast episodes and just nerd out with people, with my guests. Now it was just me to start off with, getting to nerd out on AI once a week and spread the joy and the knowledge of how to really integrate AI into what small business owners are doing, not just playing around, but how are we actually using it?
I love that. And I love how much joy you get out of talking about AI is palpable. So why don't we start with you kind of telling us how you, as a one-person agency, when I say a one-person business, a two-person business, that doesn't mean you don't have a VA. That doesn't mean you don't outsource to contractors. The idea is that you are the business and people are hiring because of the trust in you. And, you don't have that really high employee overhead, which we know can be a headache, but you can still scale, and AI is making it so much easier. So why don't you start to give us just some ideas of all the different ways you have been using AI in your one-person agency?
Yeah, so pretty early on, I started using it to help me write And I know that that's the low hanging fruit. That's what most people are using it for. So, writing for clients, but also writing for myself, helping to create content. What I have discovered as I've gone and as the technology has gotten better, I have custom GPTs, and those are built within ChatGPT. I have custom GPTs for essentially everything. So I have one that helps me write Instagram and LinkedIn posts. I have one that helps me write strategies for clients using the format that I put out for them. I have a brand to bot blueprint that I do with all of my clients. And so it's so cool, Pia. I can essentially just voice note talk into my phone everything that I want to go into this strategy. I get all of these phone calls with clients, these interviews, and my brain is just buzzing like, oh my gosh, I know what they need. I know how to solve this problem that they have. And I'm so excited. And so I just verbally get it all out. And now I've got my AI dialed in so that it's able to take everything from that interview and everything that I get out of my brain and put it into the format that I know converts my clients. Beginning, middle, end. My brain doesn't work in a story arc that way. I'm like ping, ping, ping all over the place. But the AI really helps me to format that in a way that is going to be easily understood by my clients. So that's a huge piece.
Okay, wait, can I pause there?
Yes.
And make a note to our listeners. So your brand to bot is your LP?
Yes, that's what I call my LP.
That's your LP. Okay. So, longtime listeners, you'll know what an LP is. It's our lead product. But I want you to note that Erika is using the GPT bot that she made to take the strategic ideas that she has and write it. And that's a really important distinction because a lot of times when I teach the lead product, people want to use AI to write it. And we still agree garbage in, garbage out, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So the reason that Erika is able to shorten her LP process, and we also offer this inside our programs, is because she is starting with getting off this interview and brain dumping all of the high level strategic advice that she has. And then the GPT bot is actually turning it into the brief that I assume she then reads through and edits, but it's not like going to write the strategy. You don't put the transcript in and say, give me a strategy. You put the strategy in and then you say, help me make this organized quickly.
No. The bot does not give me the strategy. I give me the strategy. But that's like that moment right after the interview is for me when I am the most excited about the client and about the solutions that I have for them. So getting them out quickly is essential for me. Mm-hmm. The way that I talk into my phone, it's nonlinear. I'm all over the place. What I'm using the AI for is to help me turn that into a usable format. I edit the hell out of it before it goes out to a client. Absolutely.
Love it. Okay. Beautiful. Just wanted to make that note for everybody because I think I'm always so scared that AI is like taking away people's ability to think strategically and communicate strategic ideas when they rest on them. So the AI queen herself comes up with a strategy and then uses AI to actually just organize the thoughts and write it. Okay, continue now that I've said that.
Now, the reason I call it the brand to bot blueprint is because part of my LP is actually delivering a brand voice bot, a custom GPT to my clients. That's part of my LP. By the time I get done with this interview with them, I am able to put that into a GPT for them using the goals, their goals, their audience, what their business is and does, their differentiators, and then the strategy piece that I'm putting into that brief. I'm able to put all of that into it's a pretty beginner level bot for them so that they can use that within ChatGPT. And it's not perfect, but it's a stepping stone for them. And just handing that over as a deliverable along with the brief has been so huge. My clients are able to take this bot and already communicate with it and ask it questions like, oh, hey, I'm thinking about doing this new product. No, don't do that. That's not in line with your strategic goals for your business. We get so distracted. Guilty. I do it all the time too. But that is part of my LP that now I'm able to deliver to my clients because of AI, because I am able to, I'm pulling all of that information out of them anyway. Might as well do something with it that is in alignment with what I am trying to build, because most of my clients are women and I want them to have this extra stepping stone, this extra leg up. So even if they're not going to work with me for a full project, they are walking away with this essential piece of AI that's going to help them.
Amazing. Of course, most of them do decide to work with you, even
Yes.
though you gave them a bot that answers all their questions. So
Yes.
what does that look like? And in that process of delivery done for you services, how do you leverage AI?
That's a great question. And I am, depending on the project, depending on the size of the project, I am using it for different things. My very basic package, I use AI for a lot of it. So I am writing website copy. I'm using it to generate background images and stock photography for their websites. If it's a single page website, I can essentially do that in a few hours with AI. I want to caution people, this is with heavy editing, heavy customization. So like I said at the beginning, I have custom GPTs for everything. This is not just me chatting back and forth within regular ChatGPT or Claude or whatever your LLM is. The customization piece of it is huge. You have to have these pieces built in. So for example, when I start writing website copy, there are a couple of frameworks that I use, including, StoryBrand is an example, but there are a couple of frameworks that I use where now the AI knows, okay, we're going to structure it in this way. And because I work with similar types of businesses, I wouldn't say that I have a specific niche, like, oh, I only work with plumbers. That's not what I mean by niche, but I do work with small service-based businesses. And so they basically have the same types of needs for all of their websites. They're going to need an about page, a services page, a contact page, home, like you all know what I'm talking about. So
The benefit of niching.
yes.
Yes.
So since they all essentially need the same types of pages, the AI that I have built, these customizations, are helping me write the content because I'm putting in those customizations. And then there is heavy editing that goes into that because it's not always going to get it right. That's the LLMs weren't built to, they don't have all the answers. They are guessing. That's how they were built. They are guess machines. And so there's heavy editing that goes in, but this is what's really cool. And what I want people to understand is that's actually a good thing and why I think that there's a myth behind people saying that they're going to lose their critical thinking skills or lose their ability to strategically think. No, because when you get an output from AI, you are using your years of expertise. You are using your critical thinking skills. You're using everything that you know about what works for clients, what converts, how you can help them, those conversations that you've had with them that maybe didn't make it into your AI. You are using all of that context to help fix what the AI spits out. Imagine if you didn't have a small business. Imagine if you had a big, like 50-person business and you had a mid-level copywriter that was doing work like this. You would still make edits to what that entry or mid-level copywriter was giving to you. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, I'm one of those people that says that. So what I want to say here is that that's what you're doing, and that's what we recommend everyone does. And the fear of losing critical thinking skills is that I'm worried some people won't do that. And actually, I'm worried that people who haven't acquired the amount of experience and knowledge that you have to be able to look at it and say, this isn't quite right. I see why you did this, but it isn't quite right. If you haven't developed that level, that discernment, then you might just go, yeah, that looks good. And then it's not good. So that's why I'm worried about it. It's that it makes it easier to lose it, not that
It does. It does.
not that you should. Yeah, but I think that the most important it almost challenges you more to keep your mind sharp because sometimes it spits stuff out that sounds really good. I find myself reading things that AI edits for me and it'll say a sentence and I'll like read it quickly and it'll seem good and then I'll be like, "Wait a second. What does that mean?"
What does it even mean?
It doesn't even mean anything. And,
Yep.
and that actually, I notice myself it like takes more brain power sometimes to edit a sentence that sounds pretty good, but isn't.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially those short sentences. It's not this, it's that. It's not this, it's that. And you're like, oh, this sounds good. Wait a second, huh? That doesn't. I wish I had an example, but I had a bunch this morning. Anyway, continue. So
So that's just one example
Yeah.
of how I'm using it with my clients. There are other ways that I use it. For example, I have a client that I'm working with right now. It's biotech, which is outside of my niche, but I'm doing the work and loving it. And they had a bunch of scientific studies that they did a few years ago, charts and graphs. My point of contact does not have access to the original data, the original like Excel spreadsheets. And we needed to update all of these charts and graphs with their new branding because their brand colors, the fonts, that all of it has changed. The overall look and feel visually has changed. I didn't have access to the original data, and I was, oh my gosh, this piece of the project, I was dreading it because I had planned to go in and try and edit these individually. I'm like, no, there's got to be, I try and ask myself, if I am dreading something, is there a way that AI could make this easier? So I popped all of these charts, they're screenshots, they're flat images. I popped all of them into Claude. Claude, which is another LLM, and it's really good at code and math related things. So I popped them in. It plotted all of the points for me, put them into a Google Sheet with multiple tabs at the bottom, one for each chart. Then it wrote a script using their brand colors and fonts to output all of those charts and graphs in their new brand style. Then it created a landing page, an HTML landing page, so that the client can download all of those charts and the original data, the plot points. It's got a little mini brand style guide with the hex codes so that as they continue their scientific studies, as they get more data, they can come in, upload new data, and this Claude artifact will spit out a chart in the exact same style as the ones that it created for me. So they can update their data themselves. They can create new charts and graphs, all with AI.
Wow. What did you hand over to them for them to be able to do that? Was it I'm picturing the Excel sheet and then you have this landing page, but isn't it your Claude account?
It is my Claude account, but the Claude account created an HTML file that they can't. So, okay, it created a Claude artifact that is replicable. So they can open that up and duplicate that in their own Claude and then make changes. So then they own it.
How is this like or not like a chat bot or an AI agent?
I basically built them a little app. I basically built them a little app so that they could do this.
Okay, that's crazy and amazing.
But it solves a problem that I had, right? Because they're going to...
You did it for yourself and then you gave it to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had this problem. I created the solution, and it's a solution for them because I know they're going to have more data. And once I'm done with this project, I want to be able to hand over the keys and be like, here you go. We're done.
In true intensive fashion. I love it.
I adore them. I would love to do continuing work for them, but also I don't. So I am empowering them to continue this work once we're done.
I love that so much. And that is a very 2026 way of what I used to do, which is, here's all the files in every single format in a zip file. Here you go.
Yes.
So you don't need to contact me. Doesn't mean you can't and there isn't additional work we can do if you pay me, but I don't need to hold the secret keys away from you to get you to pay me. I actually want you to be able to do this yourself. Come to me when I can really make an impact for you.
Exactly. And I have worked for agencies in the past where they didn't do that. They wanted their clients to be kind of tethered to them forever, to come back for every little change. And I don't believe in that. I want my clients to feel empowered to make changes on their website, to make copy changes if they want, to add service. I do training videos for them at the end of every project. I do custom training videos for every client so that they can go in and make all of those changes themselves. This was just an extra piece. Because it's scientific data, I wanted them to have the ability to update it as they do more studies.
I love it. Okay, so obviously you are an AI queen, an AI expert. What level of sophistication would you say this app building that you did in Claude is? How advanced does somebody need to become in AI in order to do that? And I have no scale for you, so you just tell me what you think.
The good thing about AI is that if you have an idea, you can ask it, how would I do this? and it will walk you through the exact steps. Okay, let me give you another example. There is a Chrome extension that I was using regularly and it was free. And all of a sudden they decided to make it not free. And I mean, it was only $6 a month. I could have paid $6 a month for this Chrome extension, but I just was curious. Could I build this myself? And it had a whole bunch of features that I don't use, but it had keyboard shortcuts. And so I could put in / fit and hit the tab key, and it puts the link for people to schedule my fit call. And I have a whole bunch of these keyboard shortcuts that were already set up in this Chrome extension. So I went into Claude and asked, and basically I just talk. So here's the hack that I use. I use the talk to text button that's on my actual computer, and I just talk to my AI. I don't use there's also within ChatGPT where you can talk to it and it'll talk back.
I hate that. It
It's
keeps
not
interrupting me.
it's not fast enough for me. So I hit my talk to text button either in my phone or on my computer and just stream of consciousness talk to it and say, hey, here's my problem. Here's what's going on. Here's what I kind of want to do. Can you help me do this? And I always try and end with, ask me clarifying questions until you are 95% certain that you can handle this task. And I got that from, she's the true AI queen. Her name is Sabrina Romanov. She has so much free AI content. That's her big idea. That's her one like mission in life, is to give as much AI education out for free as possible. But she always ends her prompts with this, like, ask me clarifying questions. And what I have found is that I'm getting better outputs because it's asking me to fill in the gaps that I didn't even know were in my original prompt. So with this Chrome extension, it basically built it for me. We went back and forth, and then it gave me the actual step-by-step instructions for how to go into Chrome extensions and install it for myself. I've never done this before in my life. I never thought, like, who would think that they could build a Chrome extension? I did, except I didn't. AI did, and it walked me through how to do it. So to answer your question, like on a scale of 1 to 10, I think maybe a 4. But the biggest quality that you can have is curiosity. What can I do with this? Because the technology is going to change. The LLM wars, they're going back and forth. The image generation, the sophistication of the LLMs, it's all changing. But the qualities that you have, curiosity, patience, those are the types of things that it doesn't matter what system you're using, like that's going to help you get better at it. I would also say with the LLM wars, like don't worry about what tool should I use for this? Don't think about it in terms of tools. Think about it in terms of a problem. I have this problem. How can I solve this? And then what tools am I familiar enough with to be able to get this done? Don't worry about, oh, somebody said on a podcast or somebody said I saw on TikTok that I should be using this. No, girl, just pick one, pick one and get really good at it. And once you get good at it, then add to your toolbox.
Oh my God, all such good advice. You know what you're also making me realize is there's something just about remembering or thinking to go and ask it for these things. It's like a shift in just how you think about solving problems. I mean, yeah, to think, I mean, you're thinking about AI every day. So to think like, oh, let me just see if it could help me do this and build a Chrome extension, that would never occur to me. So it's like almost like the power of it is remembering.
Yes. Yes. And it's gotten so powerful. For example, I have a colleague. We know people who have quizzes that they do for lead magnets. The quizzes are great lead magnets. And a lot of the quiz platforms are $29, $30, $29, $39 a month, right? You can create a quiz as a custom GPT with your normal ChatGPT subscription. However, I've been doing vibe coding lately, and I'm using Lovable.
What is that? Oh, me too.
Lovable, Base 44. There are a ton of Replit, Bolt. There's a ton of different ones out there. I took my custom GPT quiz that I created. It's to help you find your brand archetype. And I mean, as a custom GPT, it's great, but it's also just within ChatGPT. So it's not branded, it's not pretty, and you're just asking you questions, which I mean, I chat back and forth with ChatGPT all the time. So it's like a boring, okay, I'm going to answer these questions now. I decided to turn those into an app. And you can use the free version of these vibe coding platforms and create an app. And now I have a brand archetype quiz. I'm not paying a quiz platform $29 or $39 a month because I built it myself. Oh, and oh my gosh, Pia, so I taught a workshop last week. And so I work at the intersection of branding and AI, obviously. So I have a branding business. I do AI. So that's where I work. And a lot of the business owners that I talk to when I'm talking about AI, they're not getting the results out of it that they want because they are not clear on their brand. All of those nuanced things about a brand that if you're in that branding space, that we help pull out of people, they're missing that. And brand archetype is just one of the pieces. And it's one of the more fun pieces because you can visualize like, oh, who is the rebel? Who is the caregiver? It's a fun little piece. So turning this quiz into an app was actually solving a problem for this workshop that I was teaching about AI. And like, oh yeah, so if a lot of them have trouble with their brand personality, I could give them this quiz and they could take it. And then that gives them one step closer to having an authentic experience with their AI that they wouldn't have had before.
Yes. Wow. That's amazing. Can I ask you a really, really basic question?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I know I get in the weeds.
No. I have this question. I'm like embarrassed I have this question, but then I'm like, I'm sure my listeners, some of them have this question. When you say, because I'm also trying to build something in Lovable here and there, but when you say like, I built an app, like what does that mean? All I think of when an app, I think a little square on my phone.
Okay. Thank you. That's not a dumb question. It's not an iPhone app. I'm never going to put that brand archetype quiz up on the App Store.
But you could?
I could, but it's a web app. It's a website that people go to and it serves one function. For me, that function is the brand archetype quiz. It walks them through the questions and then it spits out their primary and their secondary archetype. And then it's got a little image because I wanted to be extra about it. So I went into Midjourney and created images for all of the different archetypes. So it spits out like, this is what that woman looks like.
Where is this, by the way? Like we all need to see this, both for the brand archetype and also just to see what this app is.
I'll give you the link so
Okay.
you can put it in the show notes. But it just lives on the web. So you could, within iPhone, I'm sure you can do this in Android as well, you could save it to your home screen as an actual app, but it's really just going to open up in your browser.
Oh, right. You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So it's just going to open up in your browser. So when you say app, what is that describing? The functionality of it? I'm sorry, listeners, if you guys all know this. This is like something, even though I've been doing it, I'm like, but I'm not quite sure exactly what that means. What the difference is between that and like a website.
It is a mini website that serves one purpose. So
Or a landing page. A landing page is a mini website that serves one purpose.
It kind of does. So
it just doesn't have functionality.
Have you ever used a Pomodoro like you can go to a Pomodoro timer?
In an app? I think I had one once.
Just a website.
Oh, just a website.
That you open up in a separate tab.
Yeah, it's just like a timer.
That's exactly what you're building. Mm-hmm. So you go and you've got this Pomodoro timer in a separate tab on the side of your laptop screen, and it just does that one thing.
Okay, got it. Which is why when you build it in Claude and it exists on a page, you can just give that page to your client and it's theirs.
Yes.
And it's hosted by the platform, but the platform allows that to exist even if you don't continue to have the the account.
I don't know. If I were to cancel my Claude account, would it still
cease to exist?
That's a great question. So it's also spitting out the HTML file.
Right. We talked about this because you could theoretically take the code and create it somewhere else. This is getting technical. This is getting way above my pay grade, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you could take the code and put it somewhere else.
But right now, why would you do that and just host it it just already exists there. Okay. Cool. Sorry, I took us into the weeds.
No, that's okay. So that's a great distinction because I've been nerding out with friends about this. Like, oh my gosh, I built an app, and they're like, oh, can I get it on the App Store? No, it's not that kind of app.
That's what we all think, us novice people, because app to me is only App Store app.
It's web app. So you can
app.
Open it on your desktop browser, Chrome, Safari, any of those, or you can open it on the browser on your phone.
What would it take for you to turn it into an Apple app? Do you know?
Yes. And it's complex.
Okay.
But there is an AI system that's doing that as well. So that's taking the code that's output by these vibe coding apps and helping to translate it into the type of code that you need for
Yeah.
an iPhone app,
Yeah.
which I believe is called Swift. It's just a different language. This is super nerdy. I'm building an app for myself personally for my books on my bookshelf. And I've talked to a couple of people who are like, oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. And once I beta test it, oh my gosh, this is the nerdiest thing ever. I have over 100 books on the shelves just in my office around me. And my toxic trait is that I can't walk into a bookstore without buying a book. And I buy these books and I'm like, oh, well, I'm already reading 3 others. I'll just put this on the shelf and get to it later. Well, later turns into a year later. And now I don't even remember what that book's about, why I bought it. Like, what? So I can walk around my office and take photos of the books on my shelves, just actual photos of like 6 to 8 books at a time, upload them to the app. The internal AI reads the titles and the authors, goes out, gets the descriptions and the cover, and it's making a virtual library of all the books that I already own. So for physical books, for Kindle, for all my audiobooks that are on my phone. And then, again, because I wanted to be a little extra, I put in an AI component. So I can go and ask the app, hey, I just finished reading this thriller and I loved it was set in Ireland. Do I have any other books on my shelf that are set in Ireland? And it goes through my entire library and helps me find books that I already own that I had completely forgotten about that I could read.
Wow. So are you going to make this app for yourself and then put it on Apple?
That's the plan.
You should.
That's the plan.
That is so fun.
Because I feel like there's enough other nerdy people like me with bookshelves full of books that we've forgotten about.
I'm staring at one right now. I would love to categorize these.
Yes.
Yes. Very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think my biggest takeaway is just if you can dream it, you can ask it how to help you make it.
Yes. Ask the AI. Tell the AI, this is what I want to do. This is my problem. I have an inkling of a solution. How do I, and this goes for client projects, not just fun side projects. Like this goes for anything and everything. My washing machine is squeaking and I had it help me solve that problem. So it can help you troubleshoot and figure out a range of things. You just have to ask.
Well, on that note, it feels like we should be listening to your podcast so that we can get these ideas. Talk to me about what you talked about on AI Queen's podcast.
So my podcast, I am in season 2. I just started season 2. And the entire concept was helping to demystify AI for women and particularly for women business owners who have hit that point in their business where they know they need to be doing something, maybe AI, but they're not quite sure how to get started. And so the podcasts range from very, very beginner level all the way up to, I don't really get super advanced, but I do go up to intermediate level of what are things that you can be doing in your business to implement AI to make things easier for you as a business owner. Season 2, I have been bringing in guests. So I just had a guest who her specialty is working with neurodivergent executives. And she has been using AI to help, for example, a CEO with ADHD. So how does she brain dump her entire week into AI and then have a custom bot that can help her prioritize her week so that she's kind of offloading some of that mental weight at the very beginning of her week? So I'm having different experts come on that I love talking to people where I feel like I'm the dumbest person in the room because that's where I learn. And so those are the people that I'm having on my podcast too. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how much I'm learning from this person. And oh my gosh, you're doing this with AI. The moment that you're having with me,
Yes.
I am having with others. Like, wow, I can't believe I'm learning this right now. And so I would also encourage your listeners, yes, absolutely, come listen to the AI Queens podcast. I can be that person for you, but also like find someone that you can nerd out with because everyone is approaching, all of our brains work so differently and we're all approaching AI in different ways. And that's the really cool thing about it is that you can use it and a friend can use it and try to do the exact same thing. And the way that you're approaching it and the way that you're chatting with it, and as it's learning more about you, all of those customizations, the output is going to be vastly different. And then you share your results and learn from each other. Like find that person who can help push you along in this journey. And if that person is me and my podcast, then awesome.
Then yay. Okay, amazing. Well, Erika, thank you so much for all these ideas. My brain is pinging with things that I need to go ask my AI now. And I love it. And I love how accessible you make it. And thank you so much for sharing this. And I could have asked you a million more questions, but I feel like these are the things you talk about on your podcast. Do you think that, oh, sorry, I do have a question, another question. How quickly do the things that you share on your podcast like go out of date? You know, like can we go binge season 1 or is it like, oh, half of that? Like, what do you think?
Go and binge season 1. Yes. So I would say about half of my episodes are tactical, where we talk about the specifics of first you do this, then you do this, then you move on to that. The platform may have changed, but the essential pieces of what you're doing and what you're trying to get out of it, those are not outdated. I also do updates. This is like peak AI moment. I released this whole episode on AI hallucinations and how it gets things wrong. And within 24 hours, OpenAI had released like, hey, we fixed this problem, which spoiler alert, they have not. It still hallucinates. But all of the kind of inside baseball stuff that I shared about like, this is why it hallucinates. This is what you're experiencing and why that happens. OpenAI fixed a lot of those things. So within 24 hours of me releasing that podcast episode, I had to release an update, which I was able to just like hop on the mic and talk through. It was like a 5-minute mini episode of, whoops, this happened. Here's an update. So it doesn't happen a lot because so much of what I'm teaching is how you as a human can get the most out of the AI that you're using, whatever platform you're using. I try to be platform agnostic. So
I know
now,
I really wanted to ask you what platforms you use, but I feel like you've said a couple of times that I can't ask you that.
oh no, of course. My day to day is ChatGPT.
Okay.
I also, Claude is my secondary, but I use Claude for a lot of like higher level writing. And then Poppy AI, as they have my heart. I love,
Really?
yeah. So for a lot of the stuff I do for myself, helping write LPs, helping me brainstorm ideas for podcast episodes. Pia, you and I can talk about this offline, but I have this whole system where I've got other AI podcasts. I've got all of mine, all my ideas, other AI podcasts where it helps me find the gaps in what other people are talking about that would appeal to my people. What are other people not talking about that I could be?
Wow.
To really help be a service and a value to my listeners. So a lot of the really, really high level, the deeper stuff, I'm using Poppy for because the customizations in there are just so much better. But ChatGPT is kind of my go-to.
How, if Poppy is so much better, or if Claude is better than ChatGPT, why would ChatGPT be your go-to?
The internal memory and the custom GPTs.
Okay.
So the internal memory, meaning that it remembers about you. Poppy doesn't. Every time I start a new conversation, I have a brand board that I connect and I have to tell it. It's so annoying. Every single time, learn about my brand and business. So it's got all of the little documents there, but that's the first step for everything I have to do in Poppy. And ChatGPT, it just knows because I have my custom instructions set up. And then the other reason that ChatGPT is my go-to instead of Claude is because of all of the custom GPTs that I have and the way that I'm able to, within a single thread, call in different custom GPTs based on what I need from them at the time. So for example, if I'm having a conversation about a client, let's say this client wrote this awesome blog and they want to turn it into a bunch of different social media posts. So they've got this blog post. Now I've got a custom GPT that's set up to format LinkedIn posts. So in the little chat window, you can do the @ symbol and start typing the name of that custom GPT. And it's like you're bringing that GPT, you're bringing that robot into the room with you, into this conversation thread. And then I can ask it, hey, based on what you're seeing above, because now it has the whole context window above it, help me format, give me 5 different ideas for LinkedIn posts. And then I can continue that conversation and grab the 2 or 3 that are the best, edit them, move them over to a Google Doc. Now I'm done with that LinkedIn custom GPT. I send her out of the room.
Like you say, bye.
Yeah, I just X out. Like
It
yeah.
like physically comes in and then you can
It physically
just
comes
tell
in. You can
okay.
see it sitting there, and then I X out, and then I will add in. I've got one that helps me format Substack articles. Okay, now let's turn this into a Substack, and now I'm having that conversation with the Substack bot. That GPT has all of the best practices for how to write a really good Substack article. And so then I've called it into the room,
And you
I can have
trained that GPT, obviously.
I've
Yeah.
trained all of these custom GPTs.
Right.
I've also got one that is not my own. I purchased this GPT that helps write prompts for the image generation models. And so, based on the whole conversation, it can help me write a prompt that I can then take out and put into Midjourney or Google's Nano Banana to help me generate an image to go along with that blog post. So that's why I use ChatGPT more than anything else, because I've already got all of these different pieces built out. And I love being able to call the individual custom GPTs into the thread. Like imagine you're in a conference room and it's you and the business owner, and you're calling in different experts to put together this campaign or whatever it is that you're building. And every time you call in a different expert, they are able to build for you, and then you send them away, and then you call in somebody else. So that's why I use ChatGPT.
Wow.
Did
Got
you
it.
know you could do that?
No. Is that so basic? I do not use this even remotely how you're talking about it. Let's be honest. Amanda is an incredible AI person, and she runs the business and she uses it for everything and all this stuff. And it has largely allowed me to just use it as like a little baby.
But
It's a baby way.
I would consider you a power user.
Do you know
people
how
that
I
I
use
talk
it?
to, yes, the people that I talk to, you are more knowledgeable than probably 80% of the people I talk to about AI. And you are not the first person I've spoken to just this week who did not know you could call in custom GPTs into an ongoing thread. So that tells me that I probably need to do an episode about that.
Probably do. And since this isn't going to come out like next week, by the time you're listening to this, I will be a call in your GPT expert.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Erika, we could talk about so much more. I just had a bunch of ideas, actually. I can't believe I don't beg you to come like teach this more inside. I mean, we have Erika like at our disposal inside our programs, but it's like, anyway, we got plenty of time about it.
We have to be careful because, like you said, you don't want people to get lazy.
Absolutely. I mean, that's part of why I've almost like hesitated about this, because everything I teach is about being the high level strategic thinker and expert and communicator. And I've almost like rejected some of this stuff because I don't want to make it seem like you can stop thinking.
Okay, if there is one takeaway from this episode,
There's so many.
do not offload your strategic thinking to AI. Offload the bullshit things that you don't like doing. For me, it's formatting the actual LP. Have it do that, but do not offload your brain.
Yes, please. Thank you. Wonderful words to end with. Erika, thank you so much for coming on. Everybody go listen to AI Queens. You can find it wherever you listen to podcasts. We're going to put that link in the show notes.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
for the brand archetype quiz.
It's like that should be .com and just a URL. By the time this is out, maybe it will be. AI Queens brand archetype quiz.com. I don't know.
Who can spell brand archetype?
I guess yeah.
I'll
Archetype or archetype. I think it's both. Either way, we've said it enough times. Now they know what it is. And they can probably also find it at aiqueens.com.
No, I haven't put it there.
But by the time this episode exists, it will be there. Either way, it'll definitely be in the show notes. Go listen to them. Go follow Erika on Instagram, which is
Erika the AI Queen. It's Erika with a K,
at
the AI Queen on
the AI
Instagram.
Queen. It's so good.
And LinkedIn is where I'm actually the most active these days and where I
Yes.
share the most valuable AI knowledge.
Cool. So go find Erika Stanley on LinkedIn as well. Thanks again, Erika. Love talking to you always.
Thank you so much, Pia. Thanks for nerding out with me.
My pleasure. Mwah.